The screams of the tortured knights reverberated through the streets of Paris, which would later give way to the stench of burned flesh. The Knights Templar, the greatest religious military order of the Crusades, and one of the most powerful non-state organizations in history, had come to a horrifying end. On Friday the 13th, 1307, King Philip IV of France, who was greatly indebted to the Templars, ordered the arrest of the French temple of the esteemed knights in Paris under charges of heresy, idolatry, blasphemy, and acts of homosexuality. The arrest and charges, which included spitting on the cross, sent shockwaves through Europe. Formed centuries earlier, after the miraculous success of the First Crusade, and later championed by the revered Bernard of Clairvaux, the poor fellow soldiers of Christ in the Temple of Solomon, aka the Knights Templar, started as a small, poor organization of devout knights who sought to protect Christian pilgrims traveling to Jerusalem and provide protection to the small garrisons of the Crusader states in Outremer. Forming curious but effective warrior monks, Templars were present for the greatest victories and defeats of Eastern Christendom. The Templars were known for their martial prowess, including their feared armory cavalry charges, being the first troops to pour into a breach during a siege, and refusing to retreat even when outnumbered. They would later form a powerful banking organization and were entrusted with funds and treasures from the European elite. As their power and land spread and the Crusader states began to fall apart in the late 13th century, their power and wealth would draw suspicion and fear from European leaders, including the greatly indebted Philip IV, who the Templars had refused to loan more money. The shocking arrest of the French Templars formed one of the many legends surrounding the unluckiness of Friday the 13th. Most respected historians are in agreement that Philip IV did not believe the charges, but used them for political gain. Some historians believed he did it to spread fear of witches and demons for political purposes, while other historians believe he did it simply to erase his debts to the Templars and have access to their Paris temple. This was also not the first time that Philip IV had seized the wealth of others. In 1291 and again in 1311, he ordered the arrest of Italian bankers and the confiscation of their wealth. In 1306, he expelled Jews from his kingdom after claiming their wealth and property. Under duress and excruciating torture, many of the Templars confessed to all the crimes of which they were accused. Even though these confessions were obtained through torture, it was enough for Pope Clement V to order all Christian European monarchs to arrest the Templars in their territories. The dissolution of the Templars was swift. Many of the Templars recanted their confessions, including the Grand Master of the Order, Jacques de Molay. Even though they recanted after the torture, 54 Templars were sentenced to be burned at the stake in 1310, with Molay burned at the stake in 1314. One of the legends surrounding the words of Molay at his death, which is partially supported by the primary sources, is that Molay faced his death without fear and stated as the fires were to be lit that God was not pleased. The legend continues that he cursed both Philip IV and Pope Clement V to death within a year. Both men did in fact die within a year of the execution, with Philip's death being spoken of by other European monarchs as retribution for his crime against the Templars.